The word is out, the people have spoken, and ShadowDark is sweeping the nation.
Today we'll be talking about ShadowDark.
ShadowDark.
Let's go on a journey into the ShadowDark.
ShadowDark might be up your alley.
Today we're talking about ShadowDark.
Arcane Library ShadowDark.
I am a huge fan of ShadowDark. It's one of those RPGs I'm very happy to have on my shelf for the rest of my life, and I probably will be playing it for the rest of my life.
When it felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel for our hobby, we watched as ShadowDark greeted us from the inky blackness that surrounded us, delivering not peace, but a sword.
Join us on the ShadowDark side. We have tear-off character sheets. Today, I'm here to talk about a version of D&D that is still new, fresh, fast-paced, action-packed, and full of that excitement that brought us to role-playing games in the first place. I'm talking about ShadowDark, the game that perfectly bridges the gap between old and new. And I know, you've heard this all before, but hear me out. I've run ShadowDark now for my parents, my in-laws, my brother, my sister-in-law, and a bunch of new folks who are not familiar with the trappings of the hobby. And let me just say this about it. It has a simple enough set of base rules and a simple enough character sheet and layout that people who aren't familiar at all with role-playing games can jump right in, have enough abilities to go off and get an idea and identity of who their characters are without feeling overwhelmed by a brand new set of rules for games that they're not familiar with. Character creation in ShadowDark is essential. Playing the game is fluid and fun, and feels like this is what the hobby should have been all along. No big arguments over rules, no worrying about builds and trends online, just good old-fashioned rolling dice and exploring worlds. Now, I've played and run a ton of fantasy TTRPGs over the years. I'm not being paid to say any of this, I'm just genuinely excited about the enthusiasm surrounding this game. The ShadowDark community is full of folk who seem to be focused on the fun of playing games, and isn't that what this hobby is really about? Plus, it's full of excellent game designers, fun and zany free adventures, tons of first and third party support, including 2 record-breaking Kickstarters, one of which is going on right now. So I don't care if you're an old grognard or new guard, ShadowDark merges the best of old school and new without any of the bloat, fluff, baggage, or staleness that comes with a lot of the territory. I mean, just look at the concise wording in this book. And I really believe that ShadowDark does take the best of old school and new and just throws out the rest. Things like advantage and disadvantage, slot-based inventory instead of tracking weight, ancestry and class are separate things, so you can still play against type and make your noble orc wizard. And if you're coming from games like Pathfinder and D&D, just start your character with full HP at level 1 and you'll feel right at home. Plus, combats are quick and deadly, but so are characters. Fighters deal tons of damage. Sneak attacks at the right moment can be huge. And there are lots of new classes introduced through these awesome Curse Scroll zines, as well as online resources that are streamlined and easy to use like Shadow Darklings, which includes tons of new ancestry options as well. And if you're worried about trying to cram the rules of a brand new system into your head, these little Quickstart guides, which I think was about $20 for 4 of them, contain everything you need to play and run the game, and they're only about 66 pages. And I know that a lot of people have been turned away from old school style games because they feel that their characters will never be powerful and they'll never be able to take on challenges in combat, but that's just not true of ShadowDark. This is fast-paced rags to riches. Your characters grow from level 1 to 10, and in ShadowDark, a level 2 feels comparable to a level 4 in games like D&D, and a level 10 like a level 20. So not only does that mean it's easier to reach those within the scope of a campaign, but you don't have to just dream of what it would be like to get to those top levels. You're likely to accomplish it within the scope of your game. But I heard those groans, and don't you fret, Game Masters. Magic doesn't solve all problems in this game. Torches are tracked in real time, and no one has dark vision, which means delving into dungeons is a real threat once again. Not only that, but combat moves quickly. You only get an action and a move. But don't you worry, because your turn will be up again before you have time to worry about action economy. And this is my real pitch for the game, folks. ShadowDark took everything that was great about 5e, rulings over rules, simple and quick action, and distilled it all down and really does stick to its guns. ShadowDark has quickly grown into my go-to fantasy role-playing game of choice, because it still has all the things that I really enjoy about role-playing games with the most concise, easy to remember and reference rules that I've ever seen. It's so easy to run and reference that new and old game masters alike will feel right at home with this book. Now sure, there is no perfect role-playing game, we all know that, but this game checks off so many boxes that I think you will find that players of all kinds have something to enjoy within Shadowdark. Because here's the thing, folks, I have a family, I'm a busy guy, and I want my games to feel fun, fast-paced, and not get bogged down by constantly referencing rules at the table. And I just want to stop and say here that I'm such a huge fan of the way that Kelsey writes games. She puts so much impact into so few words, and I just haven't seen anything that comes even close. That isn't to say that there aren't plenty of rules and some great bonus options like these different modes of play, but generally it comes down to making rolls with or without advantage and adding or subtracting a modifier. Sound familiar? I know that a lot of you probably clicked this video because of the somewhat clickbaity thumbnail or title, or because you already love Shadowdark. But I genuinely hope that some of you came here for the first time to see what this game is about. I hope that you found this video because of curiosity, and I hope that you'll try Shadowdark, even as a one-shot. And if you need some suggestions for one-shots to run, check out a few of these one-page dungeon crawls on the Arcane Library. Again, not affiliated, just think they're really awesome and that Kelsey puts out knockout products. Plus, there are tons of free adventures that you can grab from the Shadowdark Game Jam on itch.io. I'll put a link in the description down below. Plus, another benefit of a game with this flat of math is that you can take a lot of old school style adventures and plug them directly into Shadowdark without change. I have run Shadowdark with adventures made for games like Old School Essentials, Knave, Dungeon Crawl Classics, and even old school D&D as is. So what I'm saying, folks, is join me down in the Shadowdark. Play a version of D&D that brings excitement back to the table for you and your players, and support artists who genuinely care about the products that they make. Put your wallet where your heart is, and have fun playing D&D again. Hey, and if there's not enough setting in this book for you or in these 3 zines, and you want to save money on these, make sure to go check out the Kickstarter that's live right now and get a combination of all those things through the new Kickstarter. The setting book looks awesome, and I am personally super stoked for it. That's it, folks. Keep it fresh and funky down in the dungeon. But up here on the surface, remember that there are plenty of ways to play TTRPGs together or online, like this upcoming event, Crit. Crit, or Community Run Infinite Tabletop, is a free online con where TTRPG illuminaries, including myself, will be running games like Shadowdark for you guys. All you have to do is click this QR code or the link down below and sign up for the games that you want to play. It's free, so why not? Also, if you're anywhere near South Jersey, my buddy Wes from DM Tales is hosting EcclesiaCon, March 28th through the 30th. Funds for that event go to an organization called smiles.org that keep books from going to landfills and put them in the hands of children who need them. Also, part of those proceeds will be going to the church where Wes holds this con to help replace the roof. That's pretty much it for announcements, but also keep a lookout for Tales from Elsewhere and Indominate Role-Playing Game, which are both going on Kickstarter fairly soon and are friends of the channel and look like awesome games. Oh, and real quick, if you're enjoying the Quantum Ogre Cast, make sure to give it a like and a review wherever you watch podcasts. It really does get the podcast out to more folks and lets us know that you like what we're doing. Thanks, everyone. I hope that you try plenty of new games. I hope that you try Shadowdark, and most importantly, make mistakes, choose chaos, and have fun. The shadows are dark in the dungeon. The shadows are dark in the forest. The shadows are dark, take heart and embark, for the road is darker yet ahead. The journey is long and untrodden, the path is all but forgotten. So take heart, face your quest, for your mettle they'll test, and a hero you'll be at journey's end. A hero you'll be at journey's end.